everyone, and welcome back to the channel, Say What's Real TV. This review is for Tyler Perry's Sistas, Season 6, Episode 15, Too Close to Home. So we open up the episode exactly where we left off, with Karen running into Zach, Fatima, and Michael in the store. So immediately, Zach and Fatima, they're like, let's just keep it moving, let's just go. Karen just felt like being petty, and she felt entitled. She had questions, and she wanted her answers. I would have told her it was none of her damn business and kept it pushing. She started asking questions about who Michael was. She all in a little basket talking about they got diapers, all up in the little boy face talking about, ooh, he looked just like you, Zach. So Zach said, baby, come on, let's go, talking to Fatima, and she had a little problem with that. And Zach told her, look, yeah, she is my baby. She's my love, my life, my everything. Like I've told you this 1,000 times. So Zach told her he was getting tired of all of that. So she went on and on about how she calm and he got another baby on the way, so he better figure it out. And so he just entertained her and asked her what she wanted to know. And I'm like, ugh, basically she want to know where her child gonna fit in. So he was like, have you ever seen me mistreat a child? She said, I ain't never seen you with a child. Zach got tired of all that foolishness and he ended up walking off. Child Karen went to chasing behind him and Fatima with the buggy. I'm like, oh my God. So Karen chased them all the way to the checkout line, calling out Zach's name, and he said he's done talking because she ain't talking about a thing. She felt the need to call out Fatima's name. Fatima turns around and she tells her, if we are going to be doing the whole co-parenting thing, me and you going to have to be cordial going forward. And Fatima told her, girl, we've already had that conversation. I already told you that. So Zach, he decides to go put Michael in the car, and Fatima tells him, well, make sure you strap him in. So Fatima told her, look, you're going to be a loving and caring mother. You're not going to be a mother that leaves her child home with some man that's beating his behind and have him sitting all in his waist. And Fatima was like, if you want, we'll take him back since we don't have a car seat. Like, girl. Now, I know me personally, I wouldn't have answered any of her questions or explained the situation because, again, that's none of your business, Karen. But as the saying goes, you get more bees with honey than vinegar. So Fatima did a great job keeping her calm and staying patient with Karen. But she needed to hear it because she felt like a total fool once Fatima explained what was going on with Michael and let her know that she didn't have nothing to worry about when it came to her child because the child will be loved. So Fatima walked off to go pay for their items and left Karen standing there. Hopefully she was thinking about how she was just acting like a whole donkey up in that store for no apparent reason. So we get a scene with Maurice and Calvin comes in and Maurice is sitting on the sofa just chilling, basically wanting someone to talk to. So he's kind of begging Calvin to stay out with him and talk for a minute. So he gives in and they kind of just get into the fact that Maurice wants to know why he always attracts the wrong men. He can't understand it. And they end up saying that maybe it's his childhood trauma, dealing with his father. So Calvin said he had a whole lot of stuff growing up that has happened to him, but he really didn't want to go into any details about it. But he did try to reassure Maurice and told him that don't let anybody change you. And he also let him know that he thought that he was a good man. As Calvin got up so he can go to the room to go to bed, Maurice did tell him that he loved him. And Calvin said, I love you back. So I thought that was nice of Maurice to actually express his feelings in a genuine way. And I guess he realizes now that Calvin really is a good friend. So the next morning, Sabrina, she comes over there to the house and basically lets Maurice know that he was right about his thoughts on Bio being homophobic. And she gets to talking about they're saying that they're going to revoke their bail and this and that and the other. Maurice is telling her she need to be the one to get that money back. She got to do what she got to do, hunch whoever. Calvin looking like, whoa. So she said she just going to get the money from Andy. So here we go again. Everybody running to Andy for money. So she tells Maurice that he needs to come with her to go over there to see Andy. And Maurice says that Andy doesn't like him, so he's not going. And Sabrina had to let him know, well, Andy is not homophobic. He said, not everybody is homophobic. She just don't like me. Well, that's the same thing Bio said, that he just don't like you. And it could be several reasons that had absolutely nothing to do with you being gay. So what's the difference between the two people? So Zach and Fatima, they get home with Michael, and Zach says he's going to go up to run his bath while Fatima undresses him. So as she's pulling his clothes off, I guess she notices marks or whatever, maybe bruises from the beatings on him. So she yells for Zach to come back downstairs. So they're both looking him over, and Zach is like, "Are you okay? Are you in pain?" And Michael, he's shaking his head no, because you know he's nonverbal. So Zach, he's trying to touch all over his body and like, show me where it hurts. Like, does this hurt? You know, trying to point little things out. And Michael, he starts lifting his pants leg up, like trying to show him exactly where it hurts on his leg. Fatima gets emotional. She goes in the kitchen to fix him something to eat. So Zach, he grabs him up and lets him know nobody's going to hurt you again. And the sad part about this situation is that this goes on in real life. This is reality for a lot of families where the mother is leaving her child home with these random boyfriends or stepdads, and they're harming these kids, and sometimes, a lot of times, unaliving these kids, and because they're crying too much for them. Or just for the simple fact they're not their kids, so they don't give a damn. And that's really, really sad. J-Bones over there can't lay a hand on Zach, didn't even get a pinch in. Zach wore his behind out, but yet he over there beating up on a 3-year-old with his weak ass. So hopefully they can get Michael up out of this situation. It might take some hoops to get through or whatever, but eventually I think he will be in a better place once he gets in the home full time with Fatima and Zach, because no child asked to be here and he does not deserve that. So we go over there to Danny's house, and she is literally creeping, tiptoeing through the house trying to be slick. So Preston, he catches her, like, "What's up?" And she says, "Oh, I thought you'd be asleep." "Of course you did, Danny. Of course you did." And he claims he was waiting on her to get in. And I'm like, "You a damn fool. I know that." And she says, "Well, how are you doing?" Girl, it's been like over 12 hours, 12 plus hours, and you just now wanting to know how he's doing? Like, what kind of official girlfriend are you supposed to be? But Preston didn't give a damn because he didn't say not one word about it. So I guess it's all good. So she tells him she's getting ready to go take a shower. And he was like, "Well, maybe I should join you." And she says no. Now, for me, that would have threw up some red flags, because you come in the house sneaking and creeping and want to run straight to the tub and don't want nobody to go in there with you. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Something is not right. But, of course, Preston, not paying attention. He wants to know where she been at. So she tells him about the little date with Andy, and her and Sabrina went to try to, help save her just in case something popped off. And then he threw out there, "Oh, I like your little rose." And apparently she forgot it was in her head, because she was like, oh, she got it from somebody that was selling flowers on the street. And I'm like, girl, why not just tell the truth? You sitting up there telling all these little half lies. So she goes in the bathroom and she's looking at her phone and gets this text message. And I guess we're to assume that it's Tony. So while she's all deep in thought, smiling at the text, Preston comes and stands in the doorway. So she plays it off like he scared her. And he asked her what she was smiling at. Danny never even answered his question. He gave her a way out and said, "Oh, you texting the girls." So the next morning, Danny, she gets up to try to go to work. And Preston is like, "Why are you rushing to work?" And she says she wants to try to beat the traffic. But mind you, she don't have to be to work for another 2 hours. So Preston, he's just trying to talk to her, checking in, making sure they're good on their relationship. He told her, "Look, you were acting a little funny last night, and I feel like you're acting funny now." He told her he knows that she'll commit and then flip on him with the quickness. They get into a little brief little thing with that, and he was like, "Look, I'm not trying to do all that. I just want to check in and make sure we're all good." But see, the thing is, Danny over there trying to rush to go see Tony before they start work. That's what it is. But what I want to know, do you guys think that Preston looked at Danny's phone after she went to sleep and read the text messages that Tony sent? And Danny, you need to stop playing in this man's face. If you don't want Preston, leave Preston alone, okay? So we go over there to Zach and Fatima's, and this is actually my favorite part of the episode. So there's a knock on the door, and when Fatima goes to see who it is, it's Karen. She's bringing some stuff over there that she got from Michael in a car seat, and she's apologizing because she said she had no idea what he was going through, and she knew that Zach had gone through a lot of that stuff as a child. And, I guess she felt bad about all of that. Fatima thanked her and asked her did she want to come in the house, and Karen told her she wasn't quite ready for that yet, but maybe one day. And that was refreshing to hear her say that. I really enjoyed their conversation. I felt like the two women were positive, they were cordial, they showed some growth, and they showed a potential to maybe one day becoming friends. And I really enjoyed the scene. I really did, because it was giving me what felt like some type of closure for us to move forward with this particular storyline. And Karen told her, look, I'm not mad at you. It's just that the whole thing with Zach, she just hopes that one day she can be able to look at him and be okay. Because as a woman, Karen is hurt. She is hurt. She made her decisions when it came to them breaking up or whatever, but she is hurt, and Fatima understood because, like she told her before, been there, done that. So Karen basically told her, look, if you don't do nothing else, just take good care of the baby. And she ended up leaving. And I was like, I love that scene. It was great. Now, whether or not Karen acts a whole donkey come next episode still remains to be seen. So I'm just going to enjoy this moment while it lasts. So Zach, he comes downstairs, and Fatima tells him that Karen was the one at the door and she brought some stuff for Michael. And he was like, oh, well, that was nice. Fatima mentions getting Michael something to eat, and Zach says he'll get him something to eat in the morning. And I'm trying to figure out why he can't eat tonight, because you already know his stomach probably touching his back. So why he can't eat? I'm confused. She mentions that Heather's going to be mad when she finds out that they have him. And Zach pretty much was given like, he don't give a damn. She'll be all right, and it is what it is. So Karen, she goes to see Andy. And in their conversation, we learned that we have to deal with Karen and her mood swings for another 7 months, letting us know that Karen is only 2 months pregnant. And I'm like, I know you lying. Now I remember a time it being when you did find out you were pregnant. For the most part, you were 8 weeks at that particular time. I mean, you actually had to miss a whole cycle first to even be concerned with knowing you were pregnant. So I don't know if today's technology has advanced so much to where you can find out the next day of conception that you're pregnant. That may be a thing. I don't know. So Andy decides to play in our face, and she's like, oh, let me see your belly. And they're so excited, like, oh, I can see it. It's popping out. And I'm like, I don't see a damn thing. Like, where is that? And again, in the real world, nobody has a baby bump just finding out they were pregnant 2 days ago. At 8 weeks, you do not have a baby bump, okay? So stop the foolishness, please. But I know we in TP world. I get it. So Karen tells Andy that she broke up with Aaron. He didn't take it well, but she feels he gonna have to deal with it. She can't do nothing for him. And she says that she's scared because, she has a lot going on with the salon burning down and all of that. So then she admits to Andy that she tore up the check that Zach gave her, but Andy already knows that because she was on the speakerphone when she was ranting and raving, telling Zach she didn't want his money. So Andy then offers her again to loan her the money, because the first time she said she didn't want it from Andy, she wanted it from Zach. Make it make sense. So Karen tells Andy that she can always count on her for stuff like that, just nothing else. So she then goes into the whole thing of how she ran into Zach and Fatima at the store, and, Andy's shaking like, oh no, like, oh my God. But Karen's trying to tell her, no, it wasn't like that. I did kind of go off at first, but, everything worked out. I went to the house and dropped some stuff off, and everything was cool and copacetic. She says that she's done. Her and Zach, they didn't work out, but she's okay with that. She just wants to focus on her and her baby. And I'm like, yes, Karen, yes, that is what we love to hear. I just want all the girls on the show to experience some type of happiness throughout this series. So whatever we got to do to get them to that point, I'm here for it. So Andy, she says she has some good news, and she tells her all about the date with Jordan, and that their date was like a cute little disaster, tells about the little bus ride. So Karen tells her, well, maybe that's what you need to get away from Gary. And Andy says that they're done. And I'm like, are you really? Are you? So Andy says she has to get ready to go to work. And Karen was like, I really appreciate being able to count on you. And Andy tells her, I got you. So the two of them, they hug it out, and Karen tells Andy, go in there and take a shower, because she was a little brassy from that so-called aerobic she was trying to do earlier. So we go over there to Zach and Fatima's, and Zach is on the sofa with Michael sleeping, and Fatima comes down in that nice Kelly green dress, and, she takes a picture of them, and he's like, oh, he's sleeping. That's all he keeps saying, that Michael is sleeping, let him get some sleep. I'm like, he need to be in the bed where he can sleep comfortable. Because he gets off the couch talking about the couch is terrible. So why you got Michael on the couch? But anyway, so Fatima tells Zach that they need to call Heather to let her know that they have her child. And he says, well, she didn't call me. Anyway, they go through all of that, and Fatima says she has to get to work. And he says, I love you and thank you for helping out. He knows that it's a lot. It's been a lot for a long time now, but she says it's no problem. She can handle Michael. Fatima says that the lawyer agreed to meet with them at the job, but she'll let him know what time. And she says that they need to get Michael to a doctor, and asks Zach, do he know of any doctors? And he said he hasn't been to the doctor in years. And she says that they have to change that too. Between the two of you, I'm sure somebody can Google a local pediatrician and get him over there, or just take him to the emergency room and say something hurting. But if he got marks all over his body, they might just call CPS and have to report it. So I don't know. And Zach, you say you haven't been to the doctor in years. So if you were giving Karen all these STDs, were you just going to the health department to get your antibiotics? Like, how were you getting cured? And in episode 1 of this particular season, you and Fatima was laying in the bed and said that both of y'all got tested. So where were you getting tested at? So we go over there to the law firm, and Andy comes in, and Fatima says, I know you had a good night, because apparently she must have gotten some flowers, and they were from Jordan. So she told her how she felt about Jordan, that she enjoyed the date, it was cute, told her all about the bus ride, and that she'll explain that later, because Fatima was questioning, when she hears bus pass, it screams scrub to her, even though she met Zach on a bicycle. And to me, they're both the same if in terms of you feeling like a guy doesn't have anything, but that's just really being judgmental. So Andy changed the subject and was asking Fatima, like, are you going to explain, Zach and his baby? And she was like, oh, so you talked to Karen? And she was like, yeah. So then Fatima went into this whole thing about, well, you guys may want to get her checked in or checked out or something, because 1 minute she's nice and the next minute she's da-da-da-da-da. And there's a term for it, basically trying to say that Karen was bipolar. And in that moment, coming off the scene that I really loved the most in the episode, I wanted Fatima to kips right here and keep it positive, sweetie. You and Karen ended on a good note. So it seemed to me you would have let Andy know that everything was fine. She was fine. I mean, Andy is already well aware of how Karen has been behaving lately. She was at the job when you guys were there. She was standing right there. So you already know she knows this. So why are we, going back to that? It just seemed like it kind of took the whole scene back a bit. I just wanted the ladies to move forward and not stay stuck in the negative. And at coming off of that scene, it should have been a more positive outlook the next morning. But Fatima never even mentioned it to Andy, as if it never even happened, like it was some kind of bad editing or something. So Fatima asked Andy to give her like 30 minutes so she could meet with the custody lawyer with Zach. And Andy was acting like she had a problem with that. And I'm like, Fatima does everything else any other time, in and out the building doing stuff. So what's the difference today? So then Andy turns around and asks her, did she catch up on all of her work? And Fatima was like, I already got it done, girl. Otherwise, I would have never asked. So she was like, okay, go ahead. And I'm like, Fatima, that's why I keep telling you, go ahead and get this law degree. You running around taking care of everybody's needs but your own needs. Become your own boss. You won't be having to sweat Andy for no extra 30-minute time. So we go back over there with Zach and Michael, and he's talking to him about eating his food, and Michael really is not eating. Then Fatima calls Zach, and she was like, are you on your way? So they can meet the lawyer, and he says, give him 5 minutes. He looks back at Michael, and Michael is stuffing food in his pocket. So they both were blowed about that and wants to know, like, what were they over there doing to Michael? So he told her that he had to go, and that him and Michael, they were on their way over there to see her, and they agreed that they would meet up at the elevator. So Zach, he goes over and talks to Michael and just reassures him, like, look, you don't have to do this anymore. Like, I don't know who's been doing stuff to you, but you're safe here. Like, there's plenty food for you to eat. And he's just, reassuring him and trying to comfort him to know that he was okay. And, it was so cute because Michael started pulling the stuff out his pocket. And it just, I don't know, it was just sad and cute at the same time. And he just digging and digging. And Zach was like, well, dog, how much stuff you got in there? So I was like, this is really sad because it's like this kid is only 3 years old and he has already learned how to go into survival mode to where he doesn't even know when he's going to eat again. So he has to stash his food. That is insane. So Zach told Michael, come on, let's go so they can go get this taken care of. And he picked him up and gave him a little hug as he lay on his shoulder. I was like, oh, that was so cute. So Zach and Michael, they get outside the door and all you hear is someone saying, there he is. He stole my baby. Arrest him. Zach is like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? She went and snatched Michael up out of Zach's arms and told the officer again to arrest Zach. And the officer standing there looking crazy like he don't know what's going on his damn self. And the episode ended there. Do you guys think anything will happen to Zach in this particular situation? Drop down in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are. As always, you guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.